Hey guys, Doug here again. Gonna do a little bit of a carving video for you tonight, a little tutorial, and tonight we're doing bears. I did a video on carving bears a couple, 3 years ago or so, but I like this bear better, so we're doing this bear. I came up with a couple of woodland creatures that I'm gonna do some tutorials on, and the bear is the first one in this style, and it's this is new to me, and I've been carving them. Been carving one every day of the week. Got a whole bunch of them here, and I've already given some away. So that's what we're doing tonight. This is carved just with a just with a knife. This is my 1 3/4 Helvie roughout knife, and a block of basswood. It's 1.5 inch square and about 2 3/4 to 3 inches tall. So if you want to come up to my carving room and watch me carve one of these, and or learn how to do it for yourself, stick around and we'll get at it. So let's go. All right, got our block of wood here. We got our knife, razor sharp. If you're a newbie, I highly recommend a carving glove to protect your hand. And if you have many questions before you ask, I have a whole series of introduction to wood carving that will really set you up and get you started in this. So you might want to check that out before we get too far here. But anyway, first thing I always like to do on all my carvings is find center and then mark it on all sides. All right, we found our center, and let's just bring the top across too, just for reference. Okay, so now my feet, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch or so, and bring that back a little bit each way. So that's a 1/2 inch. Let's take our ruler here. From the top, I want to come down and let's say 1.1 inch. All right. From the top, you mark that all around. That's just going to block off the head with that. All right. That's the head. And then if the, let's say the feet are 1/2 inch, let's make them the very back side. Let's go up about 5/8 or so. Just put a little line across there, all right? And then center of these 2 points, let's just go mark this on this side, and on this side. You know what that's going to be the center of our elbow. Okay, our little elbow point here, that's what that line is. Okay, so we've got 1.1 inch from the top down, 1/2 inch from the bottom up, split the center, and that's the elbow of our bear. Okay, and then we can also go ahead and about 3/16 or so. I'll run that around here, and I'll show you when we get to it, but that's just going to be the thinning of the head and the bottom of the legs. All right, our head's going to be narrower than our body, and the bottom of our legs are going to be narrower than the main body as well. Okay, now just before we get going, let's pretend this is the front. Okay, and on the back side, that bottom here, from that line to there, we're just going to take that off right off the bat and shave that down. So we're just kind of thinning the back from the butt line, which we're going to detail more later, but we're going to take that angle off there right off the bat, and then you're going to put that center line, just going to put a little cut in there, just a little nick, so we'll never lose a pencil line again. Okay, jump around the front. This is our feet. I'm gonna dig that right in, right off the bat. Set our feet in place. Now they can go fairly deep. All right. I like to just kind of rock my knife back and forth and get a good cut. I want to get that nice and deep. what we're doing is we're just kind of going to block in, really rough out the whole fella here before we do too much detail, okay? All right, now this was our neckline here, so we can go around. Just gonna put one cut in there, and we're gonna come each way. We're gonna mark all the corners of our head before we come across. All right. Okay, now we can just do that right across all four sides, okay? Just working my way around. I'll give it the same. Now take your time. I'm rushing along here just to keep the video going, but it's not a race. You got time. All right, so we just kind of positioned our head here. Now we want to thin the sides of the head up, but what we got to do is protect the little space where the ears are going to be. I'll get there in just a second. All right. Okay, that's where we're at. We got our head separated. We know where our feet are. Before we lose our pencil line, let's just cut a little nick in there. You can never erase a cut, okay? So, we can go ahead and knock all the corners off. That doesn't hurt nothing. We're going to do it anyway, okay? But, front feet, center line on top. Let's get right in here. So, feet here. I'm going to put my knife in here. Okay, now the front ears are on the back side. Okay, let's get you back out here. So I'm going to put in like that and come across from the front. So ears are on the back side of the center line, and that's what we're doing right here. Right across the front. If your knife does not do shiny, smooth, focus. If your knife does not do shiny, smooth cuts on here, then it's not sharp enough. Go back and strop it again, all right? But anyway, so as I said, let's give that a good 1/4 inch on there from the ear, and do the same thing on the back side. We just need to protect that ear space before we can thin the head. Oh, excuse me. Got the corona. All right. Now, draw a line across there on both sides, but really about 3/8 from the top. I don't like that angle. Let's get you in here. About 3/8 from the top, we're going to get that side of the ear. We're going to cut up to it. All right. So you see how we're doing that, and that's how we're going to gain that. Cut the side off. That thinness that we're looking for. And then save that little ear space like that, okay? Now we can come around. So we've got that side thinned. One side is thinned down, so you got a little bit of a shoulder. And we got our ear blocked out. Okay, to the Same thing on this side. Come down. All right, so we've got our ear space saved for future use, and we can come across here too. Give some shape. But again, all these things can be rounded. And we're gonna keep working our way around this bear from different angles the whole time, but take the corners off. All right, let's get back to the front. All right, now we've got our head roughed in, our ears. Let's just draw a line across here. Let's say, oh, what do we say? A good 5/16, not quite 3/8. I'm gonna come down and cut on an angle back into the head. I want to bring that down. What I want to do is I want to have a little crown on the top of the head. Where the ears come into it. So a little rounding of that. I think we got that. See that? A little round between the ears. It can be a little bit lower, but alright. And just so you can see the ears, let's just round them. We're going to fine tune them after, but I'm going to round them and bring them up in. Now the ears, the bear ear is to the side. You don't want the ears on top of the bear. I had that problem with my earlier bears too, is that I would end up with the ears on the top, and honestly then your bear turns into a dog. So I'm just going to round them out, but this is by no means the finished ear right now, okay? But right now let's take the top of our head here, and let's come about a good 5/16 ahead of the ears. Let's just measure for fun. From the front, that's never been touched. From the front, let's just go maybe a 1/2 inch, okay? From the front, back. And let me tell you, right now, where this is right here, if ever there was a time you wanted to cut something with a saw, if you got a little fine tooth saw or something, this is the point. Because this is a little bit harder of a cut. You come down, but I'm going to cut right across, and it can be difficult if your wood's nasty, because I want to bring that down actually a fair bit. I'm going to come down the sides, so I'm going to give it a bit of angle too, and around the other side. But what we're doing is we're making the shelf on the top of the nose and giving a space to get the eyeballs in too. Alright, so nice sharp knife will do it, but like I said, if you wanted to get a saw for a quick cut, that's no shame in that either. Now we've got a little bit of an angle on there. You can see that. A little bit of a upright angle up. But we're going to end up rounding all this off too on the sides for this note. But like I said, we're still in the rough out mode, so we're not going to get too carried away with details yet. But we can round that a bit. clean that rig up. A nice clean face on that cut. That's where our eyes are going to sit. So, all right. Okay, we can bring that edge in here a bit. Get a little bit more of a neck in there. Before we draw the arms in, we got these big nubby corners on here. We can go ahead and round that right off. We can lose a lot of wood here. Just by taking the big corner off, because the arms are going to wrap around the body. We don't want them out too far anyway, right? So I'm just going to round that. And that big bold chest on there. See how his chest is really, we can get that way back too. There, that's a little bit better. Okay, so let's go to the back first. We got that mark for the butt here. All right, we've taken that angle off of there. What we need to do on the very bottom here, if I were to mark, you know, a healthy 3/16 like that, from the toes, I want to take that angle. I want to make an angle back like that. You see that? From the toes, I want to bring that angle back. So from the butt line, I'm just going to take off some wood like that, just till I get to the corner of the toes, and then I'll stop. So see that, just narrowed that down. Same thing on this side. I was just going to give the feet a little more prominence on the front and then the back. Narrow it down. Alright, like so. Okay, then that line there, I come down like that. I'm going to bring that up and dig it in there. A little angle each way. Remove that. Come across. Okay, now we're going to come really set that butt in now. Nice angle. That. Okay. Take those edges off. Okay, now that butt can wait until we have the arms in place. And then all we're going to do is we're going to bring that butt around and we're going to join under the arms, which we don't have yet. Okay? So, let's draw on some arms. We've got our center line there still. So on the front, we're going to come down a healthy 1/8 in front. We're going to go a little bit bigger on the back end, so a good healthy 1/4, 5/16 behind. Alright? Same on that side. That's why it's nice to have that center line left on there. And then I want to draw a little angle on here. The front, pretty much touching the feet, you can see that. And then we're going to bring that across. And across. See that? Look on this side. That's our angle. That's our point of the elbow. From there, we're going to come across. And the main thing is that they're the same height on both sides. Okay? Inside corner here, we're going to stick that knife in there. We're going to stick that right in there, nice and deep. Do it nice and deep the first time, so you don't have a whole bunch of extra cuts. Same as this way. Nice and deep. I'm going to come across on an angle like so. Alright, we're just going to take a brush and pop that out. Yeah. Now we're going to fine tune it after, but that's the trick, is to just get that knife in there as deep as you can, because you know darn well if you start going back and back and back, you're going to have all these little extra cuts and they don't look good on your finished project. So angle like that, right across. Nice and deep. So, alright, I think we got that pretty good. Go a little bit deeper maybe. Let's take the inside corner out. There we go. There, see, matching sides. All right, and then these corners here, you can see that line there. We can angle that almost to that line. All right, that don't hurt nothing. And that way, we can come across like that. And just cut up to that. I'm gonna cut that foot back anyway. This side, bring that in. Like so. All right. And of course, we'll clean that up after, but that's the idea. All right. Now, what we got to do still, we got to end those hands. Now these paws. Now these paws are going to be round in the end, but we'll just cut them off square for now. Alright. Let's bring that down like so. Right into the foot. There you go. Get some of that gut out of there. There, get our arms. Our arms are roughed in. We gotta do something about these feet here. They're pretty blocky and in the way. So right off the bat, let's round these corners off. I'm gonna dig that right down deeper. Get that right down in there. Take the corners off. What we're gonna do is we're gonna round the whole fronts, and then we're going to go back and we're going to bring them up from the bottom. All right. So now I'm going to come up. It's going to, you can see that we're going to rounding them down to the outside edge. Back that up a bit. Rounding to the outside edge a bit. Alright. But right here in the center, I gotta find this. We're going to big deep V cut. Alright. that, how I cut that nice and deep. I'm going to stick that knife in there, pop that out. Okay, now we're going to round the foot around that way. Keep digging that in and down. So around this way and around this way. Gives a little shadow from whatever it's sitting on. Alright. Remember I told you about that butt? How I want to tie the butt in to under the arms? That's what we're going to do right now. Okay? I'm going to take that little butt line and I want to join it up into the arm. So, just like so. Then we'll cut that foot back. See how that now it comes right around into the arm. Same thing on this side. Just going to bring that line up and I'm going to bring all that waste out of there. A nice line there. Alright. Just going to round everything as we go. We don't want any real sharp edges. The whole butt. But you can see we've got our legs done here. But we don't really have a butt. We got the line here for the butt. So all we're going to do is we're going to go just a little bit up here and just going to start scooping that wood away. Scooping it away. And then rounding it over into the neck. And we're just going to try and give a stick a little bit of a butt out. Yeah. Give him some shape there. And that's all there is to it. Take the pencil lines off. There. There you go. One bear butt. Okay, now on the arms here, see how the arm doesn't have a back? All we're going to do for that is going to come in here and put one cut down, bit of an angle, and come up. That gives the back edge of the arm. Yeah. Again, we'll round that butt off. No real pointy parts on there, but you can see now how the back of the arm has an edge. So the same thing on this one here. Go up. And that's it. All right, there's a little fella here. So what I want to do now is, you see how I got this gut that's sticking way out here, right? And how square these shoulders are. Watch this now. I'm going to take my knife. I'm just going to come right across there. And that's going to bring those shoulders way down on an angle. And really undercut that. Give them that real bear slouch. Okay, you see one side to the other. See that? I'm going to come right across there and come right up. Big, long angles. Really taper that down. There. See that? Now we gotta get that that belly all rounded out here too. That's too much belly. All right. That's better. Better already. I want to take these arms and put a little crease in them and round them all off. Get those lines off of there. I want to round all these edges off. These points on the paws there, I want them round. Round them off. And then all the way down to the ends. Right. Same on this side. Take those big corners off of there. Put a nice little cut in there. And round, 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 right down. Like so. And now these little edges here, like I said about that double cut. I'm gonna stick my knife in there. I'm gonna stick it right around there. Come right around the bottom. And I want to cut in. Kind of undercut that whole paw. See that? See how that works? Right up underneath there. Okay. Clean up underneath there. Good. Exact same thing on this side. Nice deep cut. And just cut right up underneath there. There. Just like so. Keeping everything nice and clean and rounded. Even this little inside corner, just gonna scoop that out of there. Oh, I still don't like that neckline here. So I'm gonna really undercut that. All right. We're getting there. Almost done. Okay, that's where we're at. On to the head. Moving on to the head now. What I want to do is I want to take this, thin this little edge out here. I want to bring a little bit of the snout out. All right, you can see that. Just kind of flaring it out. That one side. Same on this side. Got a little bit carried away on that side. All right. Okay. It's kind of a little flowing angle back. If you can see that very good or not. Anyway. That's where we're at. The ears. Now, I can put a little line on the ears since we're just using our knife. If you had a gouge, you could just stick a gouge in there, but I'm just going to stick my knife in like that. Stick my knife in like so again. Alright. Then I'm going to stick that in there. Pop that out, just like that. That's it. Same thing here. And that's before I shape the outside of the ear. That's what we're going to do right now. So we got our little cavities out. Now I want to take the corners off the ear. All right. Bring that forward. Right around like so. Right. And then we're going to shape the front edge. There's a little angle. Something like that. So you see that. Why is that so terrible? So you see how that, I got that rounded. Okay. It's a square. The other one's square. So same thing. I'm gonna take the angles off. Got our ear. Alright, and there's our ears. Alright, onto the nose. Just kind of got that little rounded there on the nose here. Alright, I'm going to draw a center line on there. Now I'm going to go with my cartoon eyes now, which are, okay, can I see that? Eyes are going to look like that. Alright. the nose, you see, let me show you. I've done a few different noses. I did this one here has got a square nose. This one's here got a square roundish nose. And the last one I did, I kind of liked it with the real triangular bottom of the nose. So I think that we're going to try and do something like that. So on this one here, I'm just going to draw that in there. And we can fine tune it, of course, after. But we'll draw that in there and let's just cut it right on a triangle. So what that is it's basically deeper at the back than the front. You know what I mean? So it's hardly cut in the front end, but the back is deeper, which is good because we want to separate it at the back by drawing a line here. And those, we're just going to do that. Put my knife back here, a little slide, and a little cut. All right? Then we'll just join those up. And there's our nose. There. Easy peasy. Alright, now what we do under the nose here is do a little, get our pencil back out here. Just going to put a little tiny line, but right away I'm going to go to a deep V. I'm going to bring those jowls around the side. You see that? How I drew that on there? So really, I'm just going to stab my knife in with that center line straight in, like so. But then right underneath there, I'm going to do the same thing on an angle. I'm just going to make that little triangle. And I want to cut that mouth out of there right away. Nice and as deep as I can get in a short space. See that? Can I cut the little triangle out of there? Now I'm going to bring that around. Now I'm going to cut up underneath there. Now we're going to have those jowls stick out. Alright. There. A little bit deeper, I can round that off a bit like that. Alright. A little V cut up to the nose. Alright, see what we're doing there? Let's get around that around. Then all I'm going to do after that is I'm going to put my knife on here. I'm going to get a little bit of space for lip, and I'm just going to do a little flip cut. Right, and that's going to leave a little edge for a lip. Just rolling my knife. Leaving a little edge for lip. Alright. What do you think of that? See the little, how the lip just kind of stands out? Alright, time for the eyes. These eyes are nothing new. If you've been following along, you can see what I drew on there. I'm going to stick my knife in. Well, actually, let's start with the center line. Stick it in. From there, I'm going to go up. I'm keeping my knife at a bit of an angle. In or out, I guess. All right, I'm going to come up the bottom. Like so. All right. Now, I kind of outline that cut a bit. First thing I do is going to take the center out. Okay, so that's the center. And up. Up. I really like these eyes now. Alright, so that's the rough eyeball done. Now I want to go around the outside again on a bigger angle and just flare that outer edge out. See that? On this side. There we go. Get that angle over here. Just kind of go around the top. Same thing, just kind of giving a little outer edge, sharpening up that eyeball. There you go. Get around the top of the eyes off here. We almost got this guy licked here. Get a pencil line on the nose. Go around the nose a little bit too. Alright. Oops, I'm out of frame. Alright. Let's just draw some lines on the paws. Doesn't really matter how many you do. I always laugh. I always talk about my favorite carver, John Overby, Dry Creek Carving. He gives everybody 4 fingers and toes. Because I messaged him one day. I said, "Hey man, your guy only has 4 fingers." He goes, "Yep, I know." I said, "Oh shoot." He says, "They're caricatures. I can do what I want." But I messaged him because I remember the embarrassment at one time. I did a carving, and it had extra finger. I put 3 lines makes 4 fingers, right? But I put 4 lines, which made 5 fingers. So I posted probably on Instagram, I guess it was. The caricature had 5 fingers and a thumb, right? So there. Got some claws on there. I think he's done. So before you call it done, just gonna go around, round off any little sharp edges, clean up, say the back of the ears. You can do that extra little cut there if you want, and then you just get a little shadow on the ear, clean it all out, and just go around the whole carving and accentuate any little areas you want a little extra shadow, and clean up any little loosey-goosey areas. Alright, but I'll do that, and then we'll just kind of finish them up here with a little bit of paint and some oil. Something I started to do recently was just take a little piece of this little, I don't know what you call it, it's like a Scotch-Brite, almost sandpaper, and just give it a little once over. I like it because if there's any little sharp edge or a catch, it will leave a little fiber and you can't miss it. So just run over really quick. A lot of guys frown on the sanding, but it's not really a true sanding, it's just a real smoothing. I got a little point there. Get that out of there. Just gives you a real good clear picture of your carving. Anyway, not a big deal. Just rubbing it. Takes any of the edges and little catches, but anyway, I'm going to do these two guys together. And all I've been doing, as you can tell, you can see a theme here, is just giving them little black noses, black dots with little white reflection in their eyeballs, and then just giving them a linseed oil. And then after that dries, I've been just putting a little bit of a beeswax finish on it. So I'm just going to give these little guys a little round black spot on their eyeball. It's pretty simple, but I really like the way that the oil brings the color to the wood. I'm a wood guy through and through, so I like the wood look. Anyway, just painting a little black circle on these. And then while that dries, I'll do the nose. And we'll put a little reflective little dot on there. Alright? I have a video also, if you're curious, some different painting techniques. It's called Paint Your Carving. I really switched to a real watered down version of painting. But anyway, I'm painting a nose black, so it's not really that exciting. But anyway, there's eyeballs and a black nose. I'll paint this nose, and when they're dry, I'll come back and show you the little white dots, and we'll oil them up. I just take my little stylus here, just dip her in the paint. All you gotta do is just put a little dot on the same side as each one. See that? Do it again with this guy here. That's it. So I got my brush cleaned out here. I just store my oil brush in some thinners. That way I don't have to clean it all the time. But I've got a dirty mix of linseed oil here. And all that means is I just put just a little pinch of burnt umber in it. Mixed it in. So that's what I've been oiling these guys with. And it's working really good. The end grain, so a few ways you can do this. Now, there's something out there is called stain conditioner, and that will it kind of makes your carving take color evenly. And what I mean by that is you can see if I paint the back of the head like this, okay, now when I go to the top of the head, it's darker because it's end grain and it really sucks it in more. Personally, I could care less, but some guys like it all to be super even. And this is also a pre-paint thing you can do too, but I'm not. But I'm just putting the oil everywhere, and I'm gonna let this dry for a day or two, and I'll put a beeswax finish on it. But you can let this dry for a day or two. Same idea as sealing it with a clear coat of varnish or something, and then the thin paint seems to go on and doesn't soak in as much. So that's all I got to say about that. The I like this look though. So I'm just putting a quick little coat of linseed oil on it. You can dunk them too. I have a jar downstairs that if I was closer I may just plunk them in, but for video's sake. So you can see the two guys, so oiled and not oiled, right? So a little bit of color from that burnt umber, and I mean it just takes, for a jar that big, it doesn't even take a 1/4 inch squeeze to make it darker like that. Alright, so you know what we can do? Let's for fun, let's grab some clear oil, just for fun's sake. This is just pure linseed oil. We'll do this one pure, without any color. You can see the color difference. All right. People always ask me, you'll see in other videos where I wet the carving after the fact, and that's just to show all the shadows and whatnot. And again, I got that little trick from Gene Messer. He always wetted his carvings after he did them. And that is what this oil does, really, permanently. It just highlights all the little areas. So you can see already the color difference in these two guys. Alright. You gotta give that a minute to soak in. And there you go. A little bit of burnt umber and clear linseed oil. All right, that's it. There is our, can't hardly see the difference, very subtle difference. There's our colored bear and our clear bear. All right, so anyway, hope you like this project. I now have bears for all the grandkids and other kids, so I got a whack of bears. But give it a try. Fun little project. Great results. I mean, if I never carved better than that, I could care less. I love these little guys. Quick and simple and easy and satisfying. So give her a go, and I'll catch you in the next video. So thanks for watching, and see you guys.